Hey everybody, Derek here to bring you another video for Fear the Walking Dead Season 2. And what this video is going to be doing is trying to predict what I think is going to happen in the 5th episode, which is called Captive. If you are not caught up with Fear the Walking Dead and you do not want to be spoiled in any way, then I would exit the video now and come back later, because otherwise you will be spoiled. Okay. So when we last left off on Fear the Walking Dead, the group had run into what I would call pirates. Reed, Jack, and Vita, 3 individuals on a raft, ended up coming onto the boat and took everybody that was there hostage. They belong to this other community that is led by a man named Connor. And, the group had to deal with that situation. And at the end of the episode, Travis and Alicia were taken back to Connor's community because he saw value in them. Jack had vouched for Alicia because, of course, the two of them had talked in the season premiere. And Travis's, utilities in fixing the boat definitely made him useful for the group as well. So those two were taken. And there was a promise that they would let everybody else go unharmed and that they would provide them with transport. So that group left, leaving a couple of people on the yacht. Well, during this time period, we had Nick run into Luis, who is one of Strand's associates, somebody that Strand knows, and he ends up going back to the yacht with Nick. And they end up saving the group. They kill everybody else that was on the yacht. And Reed is severely wounded. And I guess that Reed is related, I think, to Connor. I think that the two of them are brothers, or at least somewhat related. I know that Reed has a relationship with somebody in that group, and I think that it was Connor. But Reed is very severely wounded. He ended up getting a crowbar impaled through his midsection, so he's not in very good shape right now. But obviously people were going to come back for him or rendezvous at some point. So obviously the group has a little bit of an issue. They don't really know what it is that they need to do because some of their group members are missing, and they have a hostage, Reed. So what's that going to lead up to in this next episode? Well, from the trailer, from what we can see, we see that Luis has, of course, joined the group since he's involved with Strand. And I think that what we're going to see there is how the dynamic maybe shift a little bit, either in Strand's direction or maybe, again, in Madison's. I think that we've seen this fight for power, if you will, or the fight to, make sure that the best survival method is being used. And you have Strand, who has a plan, and you have Madison, who really wants to protect the people that she loves. And we see in the sneak peek that Madison talks with Strand in the cockpit of the yacht and basically scolds him for sending Nick on the mission without, counseling her and asking her if it was okay. And I can see the concern there. Nick, with his history and the kind of character that he is, he may be very easily susceptible to being manipulated for the right reasons or the right outcome. People who do have an addiction can sometimes be manipulated to do things based on that. And I think that Nick in general has that susceptibility. So one thing that Madison worries about is Strand taking over Nick in a sense and potentially using him to do something dangerous. Yeah, sure, Nick came back okay this time, but what if next time he doesn't? So I definitely see that there's going to be some concern there from Madison's point of view. And obviously right now the big question is, how are they going to get Travis and Alicia back? And what are they willing to do in order to do that? Because that is definitely something that is talked about in the trailer. We see Luis, who says, hey, look, your people were taken, they're gone. We're not going to get them back. And Luis doesn't know who these people are. He doesn't really care. I mean, he has his plan. He has his own, mission goals. And they don't involve the rest of the group because he doesn't know who they are, which totally makes sense to see that out of him, that he wouldn't necessarily be so committed to this. But it'll be very interesting to see if Strand will vouch for the rest of the group and maybe overrule Luis and what he wants to do. We saw that Luis and Strand really don't necessarily get along. I think that Luis is very aware of Strand's his manipulations, the way that he is. I think that the two of them definitely would not necessarily be together in like any business deals or anything if Strand wouldn't have done what he did with Thomas, as was shown in the last episode. So I don't think the two of them necessarily get along. I think that Luis is very concerned about what might happen with Thomas, as well as just maybe Strand taking over, being a better influence on Thomas, the mother, Celia. I think that Luis is definitely concerned about his position. So, from the discussion in the trailer, it really does seem like the two of them may not necessarily be on the same page. But it seems clear that the group does want to go after Travis and Alicia, and that makes sense. That they would want to do that. Now, how they're able to do that and what they're going to do may be a point of the episode. We may see the group arguing about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. Plus, with Strand, what's his goal or what's his role going to be? My assumption is that, we see in the trailer that Madison is driving the yacht. It may be that she does have the key now. It may be that Strand does not have the ability to control the yacht anymore. So maybe the other group members have taken control and are saying, look, this is what we're doing, tough, and it makes sense that they would want to rescue their loved ones. But we see throughout the trailer, Daniel Salazar saying, well, if we're going in, we're going to need everybody. So it's very possible that Daniel Salazar got information out of Reed. We know that he is an interrogator. And in the other sneak peek, we see that Daniel Salazar is talking with Reed and trying to figure out some things. And I think that he is going to find out information from Reed. Whether the group is going to keep him alive or not is hard to say. We might see Daniel taking drastic measures and killing him. Somebody else like Chris might finish the job. We saw that he was very prone to anger and for doing pretty much terrible things to Reed. We saw that after Madison stabbed Reed with the crowbar, Chris grabbed a hold of it and started, moving it around, which would cause severe pain. So he might be the one that takes action too. We don't know whether Reed is going to survive this episode or not. Plus, that wound probably is not a very good thing. He might just die from that in general. So lots of questions about what exactly they're going to do. Are they going to propose some kind of hostage exchange? Are they going to just go in there guns blazing? Are they going to sneak in there? Are they going to try to find some kind of route in that way? It's hard to say, and it might get resolved in the next episode. It might not. It may take a couple of episodes for everything to really come together, and that might lead us to the mid-season finale, potentially, or the episode before that. So we'll see what happens, but I think that that's really what's going to be going on the yacht. And then we also see scenes from Travis and Alicia's point of view. We see them I don't know if they're inside of a boat or if they're inside of some compound, what it is, but we see the two of them inside the place as well. And we see at one point Alicia's behind this gate. We see the two of them having a conversation at one point. Whether Travis is able to, get away, whether they're going to lock them up for a little while and utilize them as prisoners, or whether they maybe are able to be trusted by somebody in the group. It's hard to say what they're going to do with them. But you see Travis saying, hey, Alicia, if you get an opportunity, go for it, leave. And we might see that Alicia and Travis might work together with some kind of a plan, or it just may be something spontaneous and in the moment. But I think it's going to be more organized, and potentially it might be Alicia that is going to come up with the plan to escape. Because we see in the episode and in the trailer that at one point she's talking with Jack, and we saw in the last episode how the two of them do have a little bit of a connection. You know, I mean, whether it's being manipulated by Alicia or whether it's a genuine connection is hard to say. You know, does Alicia feel sorry for Jack? Does she believe him enough that maybe the two of them can work together in order to escape? Maybe. But it may also be that Alicia knows better now after the experiences that she's had, seeing the way that these people are. She may totally be manipulating him and may end up, you know, killing him by the end of the episode. That it could go either way. It really could. But we also see a scene where Alicia, there's a female guard that comes into a room with her, and we see Alicia grab a hold of her and throw her against the gate. So now this might take place at the beginning of the episode. You know, maybe she tries to fight back and gets overcome, you know, by this guard and thrown in that cell that she's in the trailer. Or it could be the other way around. It could be that this is her plan. So it's really hard to say what the outcome is going to be, what method they're going to use, because obviously they could do a lot of different things. But in the trailer for the entire first part of the season, after the season premiere aired, there are scenes in that where we see Travis punching somebody on a dock. And I think that this is involved with what's going on in this story. I think that Travis may also be escaping. Maybe the two of them have worked out some kind of a plan and they're going through with it. And perhaps by the end of the episode, they might try to escape, might get caught, could be in a lot of danger. Maybe the group will show up, or it'll end on some kind of a cliffhanger where they've left, they escape, the yacht comes there and they're not there. And we might get a little bit of a confrontation of some kind as a result. So there's a lot of different options. Really, it's hard to say what the show is going to do because we don't have a reference like we do in the comics for The Walking Dead. But I think that's the general gist of what is going to happen in this next episode. And I'll be very interested to see it. I was very impressed with last week's episode. And I think that if the show continues with that kind of excitement and that kind of storytelling, I think it can only get better from here. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that's what's going to happen? Is there something else I haven't considered? Let me know. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And if you have any suggestions for future videos that you would like to see, don't be afraid to suggest them. Have a very wonderful evening, and thank you all very much for watching.